Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show every Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. We're also on YouTube and on Facebook. Check us out there. We are sitting with Thomas Drusilla with Finance of America, one of the top loan officers in the Twin Cities, and Marshall Saunders, who owns Venture Near Resources, which is a lead generation system for realtors, and also Saunders Daily, which is the crowdfunding. Yes, thank you, Marshall. Crowdfunding, where you can actually invest in real estate without having to take on the risk of buying the entire real estate yourself. You're crowding together with other people to pool your money together to buy bigger assets and then getting a return on that, similar to investing in, I don't want to say the stock market, but similar to investing in things like that where you can use the money to invest. And we have a show previously on that with Marshall, which was great. And then Brandon Doyle, agent with RE/MAX Results, and also co-author of the book, Winning as a Modern Real Estate Agent, Mindset, Methods, and Metrics, the 3 M's.
M cubed.
M cubed, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So we want to get into the book and talk about that, but rate hike, what's going on? Anybody pay attention to the rate hike coming up or the proposed rate hike coming up? It's not going to happen.
The whispered about rate hike?
I don't think it's going to happen at all. Economic reports right now are too weak, and Europe's talking about QE, quantitative easing, and last time they did that, you saw rates plummet back in 2012 when the bonds were at their lowest. I just don't see it happening, but that's just my opinion.
Yep. I agree. Anybody else disagree, think they might do it?
I certainly don't disagree strongly. I don't know what they'll do. And
no one knows.
At some point, we're going to have some hedge against inflation, or else we will have a monstrous level of inflation at some point. But I agree, the economic outlook is not so strong that I would necessarily be doing that right now. So I don't know. There's a lot of
current statistics show there's a 4% chance that they're going to raise it now. That's what they're saying. 4%. It was like 25% about 2 weeks ago. And then labor productivity. We want to touch base on that. The poor number of job growth. What's up with that? Because we're seeing people wanting to buy. It seems like our market might be a little bit different than the national on that. I mean, because it says labor productivity growth has been dismal since 2011, and so has wage growth. However, if wage growth start to increase more rapidly, that would push up costs and prices, and that would also stoke inflation and push the Fed to raise the rates more quickly. This is why the Fed is looking to raise rates in July, but they probably won't. The low productivity growth limits GDP growth, and that means rates can't rise much either. So we're kind of stuck in this right now where we're at is what it sounds like, and that's what these economists are saying. But what's going on with the low job? Is it just because everybody – it's 4.7% nationally. Is it because everybody already has a job? Is that what I mean? Or are they not getting more jobs because we already have them? Or is it like what the politicians are saying is that jobs are leaving the country like crazy like Trump is saying? Or?
Well, you got to remember that there was job growth. It just wasn't robust job growth. And so we are growing jobs, but just not at the rate that a country our size should be growing jobs. And an economy our size and an economy as healthy as it is should be growing jobs. I think it has a lot of different factors. We don't manufacture a lot here anymore. We don't have big, huge automakers. We don't have those big, huge plants that can employ 30 to 40,000 people each. It's not the way we roll. We are more of a CEO economy, and so we have to use other countries as our developmental or our because no one's willing to work for those wages. No one's willing to take a $8 an hour job, or that would be great in another country. Thailand, $8 an hour, you'd be pretty much the richest person in the country. So, I think it's not so much that we aren't growing, but it's a stagnant growth, and it should be a lot healthier. And I don't know what changes that.
Well, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump both say they're going to change that, so we'll see who.
I don't know how much if the one single president has the power to change an entire economy. I think that'd be tough.
The other question, and I don't know how active you guys. Brandon, are you involved in Zillow, or do you do a lot with Zillow?
I do not, no.
Nothing with Zillow?
No. I mean, we have reviews on the website, but we don't use it for generating.
What's your opinion of Zillow? Because Zillow agrees to pay $130 million, which is probably peanuts to them, to move which is and NAR, the National Association of Realtors, by the end of June here. It's a 2-year contentious lawsuit that started out $2 billion in the lawsuit. Now they settled at $130 million. So
because Realtor.com was who Errol worked for, and it's all about the Errol Samuelson move to when he moved from Move to Zillow, and Realtor.com is owned by Move. So
I got it.
And NAR is kind of a partner in Realtor.com. So that's why they're involved with that lawsuit.
Okay.
Too.
So this is not. I mean, this is the loss, I think, for NAR and for Move, right? 130. I mean, it's not a loss like 130 million, but they were going for $2 billion.
Oh, I think everyone knew that was crazy. I think that they came away with anything is a pretty major win.
Yeah.
And obviously Zillow was going for nothing. I think it's not necessarily a drop in the bucket, because you got to remember Zillow doesn't make any money. They're not a profitable company.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, they run on investor money, and so any kind of big loss like this is looked at pretty negatively. But I think overall, I think it's now behind both organizations, and they're moving on.
The future and Don, we're on Zillow, but the future, I can't tell you a time I've seen a buyer or talked to a buyer, and they pull out their phone, and I'll just ask them, hey, what do you search homes with? Zillow. I mean, it's well over 90% from my personal experience. Yeah. They're heavy on Zillow. They've done a great job. And it's kind of one of those things where they got you as an agent, Zillow. I mean, and if you want to grow your business, it seems like in that way, online, you almost have to be. I mean, Brandon, you're not on it, so what's your opinion?
I would wager to differ, but
Okay.
Unless you have a strong understanding of the internet and lead generation, if your average agent is kind of pigeonholed, where Zillow has the leads right now and the consumers are using their website as the preferred place to search. So if you as an agent come to them and you want to grow more beyond your sphere, you kind of have to go with them.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. And the leads, honestly, we get through Zillow are pretty good. Yeah. Better than some other lead gen systems that we've gotten. And we have not signed up, and I'm going to now look into Marshall's company, Venture Near Resources, to see how that works, because any lead generation source is, if you're looking for leads, is good. You can get overwhelmed, and maybe that. I don't know, what do you guys talk about? I didn't get a chance to read the book. I apologize prior to the show, but is that something you talk about in here? Is there lead gen systems and things like that? Because you can get overwhelmed by buying so many leads and then just not doing anything with them, or not doing anything proper with them, or doing maybe 10% of what you should be doing on 100 leads when you could, or 1,000 leads when you could get 100 leads and do a lot more, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
well, that's what we set up our company as. This isn't a Venture Near show. It's a mindset, methods, and metrics. But the book does go into how to at least quantify your lead sources, if you're getting the proper ROI on them, if they make economic sense. Zillow is awesome, and so I have no problem with Zillow whatsoever. It just, you have to apply a very strict business code to it. Is it having the proper ROI? And if it is, keep using it. If it isn't, drop it.
Yeah.
And so it's just simply that simple. And some zip codes it might work, some zip codes it might not, depending on what metro area. What we do at our company is we buy leads from Zillow, we buy leads from Commissions Inc. and Market Leader and everybody. And what we do is then we funnel it into live people who call those leads.
Oh.
And so we cull them down, and then we hand them out to our agent network after they've got a needs and wants assessment and after they've been kind of culled down, and then we ask a referral fee.
instead of just throwing them out there and
Right.
saying, you figure out what to do, which
Right.
is what most companies do.
And it's not a great, not a lot of agent. The book goes into this. The skill of a real estate agent is to sell a home, show homes, sell homes, negotiate homes. It's not necessarily to sit on the phone and work leads. Now, Jason, you're one of the best people I've ever met in my life on working the phones. You are a master.
If I have
at
time
that.
to get on the
I
phones,
know.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
I just remember
Right,
you
Thomas?
working the
Thomas
phones.
is great on the phone too, but it's you get busy with real
Right.
clients, and then you're but I
Right.
think that question about this, so the book. Okay, so Mike Brennan, I believe, is a real estate trainer, and I'm friends with him on Facebook. And I went to, I'm scrolling through Facebook at night when the kids go to bed. I sit and I kind of watch basketball or hockey or whatever's on, and then I scroll through Facebook. And he had a post on there, I think it was him, of a room, of a class of entering newbies of realtors in the real estate business. And it was packed. Like, I'm zooming in on it, and I'm going, and it's row by row, just dozens of people. And this is going on monthly, I imagine, coming out of the works.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of new realtors entering the business that when I entered, you think you know what you're doing, and you don't know anything when you really, when you get out.
That's how you learn, by doing the wrong things,
Well, and then you go to sellers and you get frustrated because they don't want to use you because you're brand new, and then you, it's just so many frustrations. In fact, I almost quit multiple times in the first 6 months. I did quit officially, and then I came back, because it was just such a head-banging, against-the-wall experience. But the book, when we get back from break, we're going to talk about this because I'm curious if this is something for people like that are coming in, or people that have been 12 years, 13 years like Dawn and I that can benefit from it. Because I am learning all the time, and it's there's a lot to still improve on all the time. I mean, the business is so hard and changes all the time and everything like that. So I want to hear the inspiration of this, who started it, whose idea it was, and how you guys all partnered up. Mindset, methods, and metrics. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon. And if you are thinking of getting into the real estate business, call us, 651-400-0773, 651-400-0773. We'll be back.
Will you buy me a house of gold?